Recently, I was meeting with a new client and she was sharing with me some of the goals she had written down for herself. And one of the goals was to have time to do everything, to have time to do everything. And I had to actually stop her right there because that's a false premise. And we're not going to get a ton of work done towards her actual goals, which really are more along the lines of doing the things that are really important to her and worrying less about the things that aren't, if we can't accept that fact, right? Prioritization, it's not just like this Tetris thing where we're moving things around and we're hoping they fit. Prioritization is about what you're not going to do just as much as it's about what we are going to do, right? If we think of prioritization as it's just the order in which we will do things, I mean, that's true, but that framework leaves something on the table, and that's the fact that we're never going to get to those things at the end, and that's okay, right? We don't live in a world where we can do all of the things. We don't live in a world where we can do everything unless somebody figures out immortality, but nobody's figured that out yet, as far as I know. We have to make choices. And so when we think about prioritization, when we're stuck in this false belief of that, somehow we're just going to Tetris it all together, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to get everything done in the time that we have available, we are setting ourselves up for failure because that's not true. We can't do everything. I am so sorry if you are still operating under this premise and you are thinking that somehow, some way, you'll just be able to figure it out and you'll be able to do everything. You won't. I won't. Nobody will. We cannot do everything. But it's not all bad, right? It's not all bad. And the reason for this is that when we realize, when we accept that we aren't going to do everything, it becomes a lot easier to make choices, right? To recognize the trade-offs and to say, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do this. I am specifically not going to do these things over here so that I leave time to do things that may light me up more, that I want to say yes more to, right? Or that I need to do, right? Or whatever reason. When we accept that we cannot do everything, when we accept that we have choice, that actually brings us a lot of agency and a lot of satisfaction because we are now choosing the right things to do, the things that feel good to us, that make our lives better, that make other people's lives better, whatever it is, whatever we are choosing. We are now choosing that specifically, and we are choosing that over something else that we are not going to do. We might not even know what that is, but over something else that we are not going to do in the future. And this makes these choices a little bit precious, right? It means that we are really choosing with our time, with our brains and our time, what is important to focus on. We are making intentional choices instead of living in this falsehood that somehow we're just going to figure out how to get everything done, even though we've proven to ourselves time and time again, we're not going to get everything done, right? You, me, everyone else, we could work 18 hours a day for the rest of our lives. There would still be more work to do tomorrow, right? When we realize this, it helps us make choices around how we're going to spend our time today. If I know that the work is never finished, then I'm going to go to the pottery studio today because I can't wait until everything is finished. Because if I wait till everything is finished, one, I will die. I will die before that happens, right? So when we start to realize that we cannot do everything, that gives us the freedom, the agency, the power to choose the things that we do want to do and to feel a lot more satisfaction, to feel a lot less regret over those choices. So I hope that this has been helpful to you in reframing. And I hope that you think that this is a hopeful way to think about things and not just sad that we can't do everything because like that's just what is. That is what's happening. But if you want to see this type of content, if you want me in your feeds every week, make sure to like and subscribe so that one, I know how you felt about this video, and two, so that you see this stuff popping up in your feed every single week. And if you have something to share around this, drop me a comment. Until next time.